I think especially as Aboriginal artists, our truth is what makes us who we are in our culture and our spirituality. And that truth resonates into the community.
Mob or Jarjum, that's tomorrow's children, because all we do is for them, really. And if they can get these words, get the pronunciation of it correct, they can then start using it in daily life, and they do.
It's relationships between mothers and fathers, between parents and children, between children and their grandparents. It's that deterioration of that family relationship and connection.
Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people can now stand with huge humility and be very proud of who we are and what we are, and the way in which we have survived.
Welcome again to Beyond the Boundary Road. I'm Mundanara Bales.
And I'm Fred Leone. Our guest today is a senior Indigenous social worker heading up an early intervention program at Camara Family Care Centre in West End.
For over a decade, Teresa Mace has been involved in supporting vulnerable and disadvantaged families in the South Brisbane region. It is our pleasure to welcome Teresa on Beyond the Boundary Road. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So could we start with telling us who your mob is and where you grew up?
Who my mob is, I'm proud to say I'm part of the Chambers family from Cherbourg, a very big family for the Queensland region. Acknowledging ancestry from Koa Nation and Kuku-Yalanji up North Watt. Started in Brisbane, we moved to Canberra for those early teens, then went to Darwin. We lived up in Darwin where I started my working life and my family. Then situations happened and I moved back to Brisbane just in time before my nana and pa and those really significant people in my life passed on. Have been here since.
How did you get involved with Camara Family Care Centre?
Well, Camara. I was actually in my second degree, which is a totally different story we haven't got time for anyway. But I was doing the social work degree and my final placement was at Camara. Did the placement and stayed on as part-time admin while I finished my studies, and then basically just evolved and developed with the service in the last 11, 12 years.
So do most of your clients come from the Brisbane region, or do you service clients in the greater kind of Queensland, southeast Queensland region?
The funding, as you can appreciate, has its geographical boundaries, so primarily our clients, or our families, we call them our families, come from south of the Brisbane River all the way to the Bay, to Ipswich, so all that area. But that doesn't mean that we can't reach out and support our families in other regions. We've had requests from Mackay, Rocky, New South Wales to support families in different ways. So it's an early intervention program, so basically if there's little Indigenous kids out there with families that need help, give us a call.
And do you find with the work that you're doing mainly youth or older generation?
That's the beauty of the program. We actually are able to support a family through a whole continuum. We could have a nana who's caring for kids, and we can go in and help them in whatever we can. But then I've got a little 19-year-old mum who had twins, no family support around her there. I've recently hooked up with a little family, little 21-year-old gang who basically we've agreed that my role will be to be their cranky auntie, to help them do the best parenting they can for their kids because they don't have that strong support around them. Does that answer that?
Yeah.
Definitely. And in saying that, what does Camara do differently to mainstream services?
That is a great question because it's hard to answer. We do core training to make sure that our workers are able to support our Indigenous families in that white system. So we know the latest frameworks, models that are being used and assessed against. But to be honest, I think it's because of having that same pain, wearing those same shirts as the families have. And we may have gotten to where we are now, but that doesn't mean I didn't have the same struggles. So knowing if someone supports, encourages you, you can get through. Yeah. And that families do need to come back together as a community and stop this isolation stuff.
Yeah. What's one of the biggest issues that you see when you work with families?
For me, it's relationships. It's relationships between mothers and fathers, between parents and children, between children and their grandparents. It's that deterioration of that family relationship and connection. And yes, colonisation started that ball rolling, unfortunately, but we want to help our families stand up and really start making those good choices again. And that's essentially what we try and do.
And how do you think Camara can really assist these young people, or even the older people, with doing their role and trying to care for these kids? Like the support,
what sort of support?
Yeah,
and that's diverse in itself. And I'm really lucky that the program I run has a lot of flexibility in it. So basically, the program I'm involved in, the Indigenous Parenting Support, it can literally just provide information about another service. We can provide basic emergency relief support. If families are coming to a new area and their children are starting school, okay, uniforms are expensive here. We'll get you a uniform, we'll get you the books ready so that little one can start that school proud and head up, and the family don't have to worry about that. There's also just being there. There are a lot of mums out there and dads that just don't realise that you're not supposed to do this on your own. You're not. So it's that reaching out by phone, it's supporting mums and dads and nanas to attend appointments they might be fearful of or might not want to attend. It's helping them just really whatever needs to happen, right down to literally just calling in every now and then, just seeing how people are.
Yeah. What's one or two of the positive trends that you've noticed over the last couple of years, or if there's been a couple of significant trends?
I'd like to say the one I'm really excited about for the last few years is how many dads are stepping up. Dads are really coming forward and being that really good role model for their kids when our mums are just lost, unfortunately. And the other thing is, in this field of work, you don't actually get to see success or the end result. You don't get to see the house being built at the end.
Yep.
But if you're walking down the street and someone passes you by and remembers you, or a family member or someone that you've worked with or connected with before gets their family and their friends in, that's the beauty of it.
Yep.
So is Camara partnering up with other organisations? Do you link up with other people?
Yep, as an early intervention program for us, we actually have a really good relationship with the Murray Antenatal Unit up at the Marta. So the young families coming through there, the women up there are brilliant. They're able to work out who may need some help, to make sure, number one, child safety stay away. Number two, that family's going to be strong. So yeah, we've got links there, and also with the social work department of the Marta. We work closely with different schools depending on need, doing family support, parent groups, and just a little bit of space for kids. We're developing a children's program so they get their own little rites of passage, little mini men's or mini women's group stuff.
It's stunning, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you seeing more young people be involved in your service? Younger parents?
Younger parents, they're the ones that are probably a little bit more fearful to access support because unfortunately child protection issues are out there and we've got that whole underground thing starting to happen again. But the more, like I said, the more they're encouraged by other people's experiences, that's great. But the other stuff is just we still get drop-ins from the old aunties as they walk down because we're in Boundary Street in West End, so they still drop in for a chat. But there is no age. No, because everyone in a family, we've got nanas, grandfathers, aunties looking after kids. So.
And what I like about Camara is it's going back to how we operate. We've always operated. The community raising the child. So it's just taking it back to stripping it back to the basics and, addressing it in a contemporary way, I suppose.
Yeah, bringing them back together and reminding them that, you might be falling down a bit, but hey, not going to judge. Them little ones still need you around.
Exactly. And I guess On that note, we need so much more services, especially Indigenous-related services for our mob to feel safe in that environment, to come and reach out for help. So thank you very much for coming in today and sharing your experiences and your passion with working at Kumara.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa.
Oh, thanks for doing this series, guys.
No worries at all.